Okay, this video is just going to be thoughts out loud, venting, spoken thoughts. Alright, so as I said in the last couple videos, when certain planets are in certain positions or are aligned in certain ways, I have to get on my guard because I know some shit's about to hit the fan, literally. So I do, and here we are, as always. So, let's see. Let's start with my eldest son, Steven. He's planning on getting married this year. His fiance has a 2-year-old. My son is not really at his age or based on his childhood traumas and separation and abandonment issues in any frame of mind or being to be a parent at this point. And I've been begging him to take it easy, go slow, don't rush into things. And then having him and his girlfriend and the baby in my presence for a couple of weeks, I was able to observe bird's eye perspective, the ins and outs of their relationship, and it is not healthy. Too much pointing fingers, insecurity, jealousy, laziness. Now, my son, raised by me, very organized, clean, a little OCD, I guess you could say, but with good reason. Because when your environment is chaos, your mind will be chaos, in my opinion, or so it is for me. So if you have an organized home environment where things are placed properly and you don't have to waste a lot of time searching or tackling monumental loads of filth all over your house because everything's just always maintained, it's a lot easier. And his girlfriend is more concerned about her TV shows and her phone, and then the baby's left to her own devices, sitting in a corner on an iPad and not learning, and I just see where it's going. So he left and we were arguing. He went back for the wedding and for his birthday, which is this Saturday. And what can I do? In the meantime, they had been staying with my ex, the father of my youngest two, the one I'm currently battling in court over custody and abuse and lots of fun stuff. Truth time, justice time here. And I've become enemy number one for just trying to do what's right and fix some broken things and get some justice where justice is rightly deserved and due, and for the truth to come out. And since doing that, you are condemned, persecuted, argued with, hated. It just doesn't stop. So that was 2 days ago, but prior to that, they left my ex's house, and he did to them what he has done to me, why I currently have my mail on hold at the post office, because he would go in the mailbox, take out the mail, and it would magically disappear. So now my son's mail went missing. He's got a whole thing, and then my ex, what does he do? Throws them out. Which is why they came here, because then it's back to mom, when we're desperate, of course. And wouldn't give them their mail, started talking a whole bunch of trash, used my younger 2 sons, so now all 3 of my boys are fighting amongst each other pointing fingers at each other instead of the source. Satan, the father of all lies, where it should be rightfully pointed. The root of why all this is the way that it is today. And his exact words to my son was, "Your fucking family." See, and when my son was young, my ex always played favorites with his biological, and my son Stephen was made to feel ostracized and unwanted by the adult, my ex. And so by his phrase of "your fucking family," that's a direct attack as to me and my son, my biological son. So if that explains anything, yeah. Now the true colors are coming out. So good for me. Here's another witness, and here's another situation to add to my court hearing, which is number 2. Yesterday I stopped at the post office and I have the document stating what is to happen until the formal custody hearing, which is, lo and behold, why this date was flying around and it kept popping up and I didn't understand it. September 11th is my formal custody hearing. But since you are only in a conference room for 20-some minutes discussing your whole 20-year history, cramming it in, and that stranger knows nothing about you, nothing about your children, nothing about your situation, they make a determination. So now they are keeping the false, fake PFA that my ex filed against me right before Mother's Day in May as retaliation for me filing custody 2 hours prior. Coincidentally, wow, how these things just magically happen like that is beyond me. Time stamped by the court, literally 2 hours. He filed this false thing as a retaliation effort because he thought, oh shit, she's actually standing up and doing something about it. Oh shit, now what can I do to knock her down again? I'll make up an abuse thing and I'll file it with the court. Anyways, I'm not an abusive, cruel person. I have 3 living, breathing, beautiful children who were healthy. And clearly not a cruel, abusive monster. Clearly. However, the court found it appropriate to keep the PFA in effect to where I can only have phone contact with my children, which little do they realize that he, the father, the enemy, Satan, is in control of my kids' phones. He takes them, he types things, acts like he's them. He refuses to allow them contact with me. And I've voiced this a million times, nobody cares, but that's the court's orders. But for me, that means a whole summer of them being out of school that I can't see my kids, barely will have any contact with them. Nothing changes. They're still unsafe in a home full of mold, feces, urine, mental abuse. Not to mention the fact that the court mediator, when she came out of the room last week, saw his lawyer and said, oh, it's good to see a friendly face. Oh, we go back. So everybody's already friends in this community or has some kind of preconceived notion or judgment or attachment. There's no true fairness here. There's no true justice for this outcast. None. I'm dismissed. And I even said that. I said, look, I contacted the same legal aid service, which means that his lawyer, the defendant's lawyer, already had access to my confidential case files when I did the initial intake appointment. Isn't it the same as doctor-patient confidentiality where, you know, that breaches confidentiality and he should be made to seek other legal counsels? I am, you know. No, they just dismiss me like I'm some idiot, stupid moron that doesn't know my rights. So now I will be getting a lawyer and they'll have no choice but to have to listen to a lawyer because I'm just ignored. I'm a nothing, a nobody here. And the reason I stayed mum on my YouTube channel for so long about, channeling and synchronicities and messages and guides and angels and so on and so forth is because I was being trolled on my public YouTube channel platform, and it was being brought into the courtrooms and used against me. And now this is exactly what I knew they would do, and they want a full psychological evaluation. Great, bring it. How many have I had in my lifetime? How many mental wards? How many treatment centers? How many straitjackets? How many medications, sedating medications? I know the deal. I know the routine, and I was just trying to protect myself because I have my court hearing is not about money, and it's not about a competition or winning. It's about rescuing my children and shedding light on the whole situation so that the real truth can come out and justice can be served. I am so about fighting injustices in this life and unfairness and inequality and prejudice and all kinds of forms of hurt, labels, all that. So I'm on a mission to rescue my children, rescue myself, prove facts with evidence that I have, and speak the truth, show the truth. And when some people have as ugly, rotten skeletons in their closet as they do, they will fight at anything to keep those skeletons from being exposed. I don't care. I'm not in this to protect him. He's the one that lied. It's like I always taught my kids, you make good choices, you get a reward or something good. You make a poor choice, you get a consequence. Or you have to learn a lesson. Or sometimes maybe a punishment if it's that bad of one. I didn't badmouth him when they were young because I didn't want them involved. This was grown-up issues. I wanted to keep them protected from it. But all these years, that's what he's done to me. Badmouth me, ridicule me, make fun of me, attack my character, attack my faith, attack my morals, attack everything about me. I'm just sick of it. So I did a lot of sleeping yesterday and today. I haven't eaten in 2 days. Anymore for me, this existence of waking up to this nightmare and hell over and over like Groundhog Day, I have really nothing left to live for. Really don't. Here. Except my kids. So, am I suicidal? No. Are the thoughts there 24/7? Fuck yeah, they are. In full force. But I just keep reminding myself, one more year. One more fucking year. That's how long this is going to take. I got approved for the housing department. I got approved for a 1-bedroom. While the court wants me to show proof of residency that will enable my son to be there. So I got fucked again. And I told them my situation, and I said, can I, change it up? When I get custody of my son, can it be, so I don't break a lease and lose, the housing? Well, no, you have to sign a 12-month lease. Okay, so you're telling me if I take it now, I'll have housing, but then I'll lose it if I need to adjust it. Or I don't take it now, I'll lose my spot on the lease and stay homeless after I have survived this whole winter homeless. Awesome choices. Really fucking awesome choices. Went through all the footwork of getting with my doctor, getting a legal, valid prescription, registering on the Pennsylvania state website to obtain my medical marijuana prescription. No access to gain my medication, though, after all the work is done, because there's only one dispensary in this area. No car, no transportation. No money to afford it. But if I would have stayed on their poisonous Xanax and poisonous Cymbalta and poisonous lithium, I could walk to any CVS or Rite Aid or any pharmacy on any corner and have it be fully covered. But an actual herbal medicine that works for me, I can't even have access to. So no medication, no food, no basic necessities, no shelter, no freedoms, no rights, no actual advocacy for victims of abuse. Emotional abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, circumstantial abuse, societal abuse by authoritative figures in society who are supposed to protect and serve, not beat down. So victim, yep. Do I own that? Woe is me, pity me, I'm a victim. No, I fucking stand up and fight it. Fight injustices. I don't want a pity party. I want to show people, see, I've been telling you the motherfucking truth this whole time. Now maybe you small-minded idiots and morons can start to see. For instance, on the court paper, they can't even spell anything correctly. I don't know what I fucking did with it. Anyways. I'm just so over it. I'm so over everyone having an opinion or a judgment. Nobody wakes up to this hell that I do every day. No one has their children ripped away from them and turned against them and has to worry and panic and fear 24/7 of your children. No one is at the mercy of living with other people and their ways and not getting a moment's peace. No one has survived the winter out in the woods with no shelter. No one's eating out of cans day in and day out. No one has nobody. Like, you know, some people have a partner, they have a sister, they have a friend, they have their kids, they have a neighbor, they have a pet, they have somebody. Someone. I don't. So I talk to myself, I figure out problems myself, because nobody can understand anyways. It's like way beyond above their heads. They don't have a fucking clue, so I don't waste my time. And all I do is just try to help others, give to others, even being the poor fucking idiot that I was. There was a girl at the welfare office a few months ago when it was still really cold this winter. And she had a baby in a stroller, and she was at the phone in the front reception area calling her caseworker saying, my baby hasn't eaten today and I don't have any food. Where can I get some food? And they did their usual, come back in 2 weeks. We'll try to help you then. So I dug in my wallet, having nothing, and I had $4 or $5 and change, and I gave it to her. Why? Because I'm such an awesome person and I want recognition? No. Because I don't want to see a baby go hungry because of failing, broken systems and agencies that aren't doing their jobs, and misappropriation of money, like all these elected positions, prothonotary, master, whatever her name was, court this, judge, magistrate, constable, the fucking waste of money for all these titles. What do they do? What do they do? I don't see much getting done. This money needs to go back into communities and start helping the people in the communities that are suffering while their salaries are getting paid for these elected positions where they don't get a motherfucking thing done. So in a year from now, after this is all said and done and I can move and have my son, it's going to be way too fucking late. A year? My son will be 16 by that point. Fucking year. I don't get this. Why should I, as the mother who birthed these children into existence, did everything on my own while their father was out sticking it to everything that walked and bringing filth into my bed in my home and broke our whole family up in the first place over 10 years ago. Why should I have to prove myself to these strangers because they have a title for them to say I can or cannot see my children, who I fed, clothed, bathed, scrubbed, healed, taught, volunteered, did for, worked, blood, sweat, and tears alone until it broke me down. And then my life became shit because I just didn't want to be here anymore. But it's at the hands of one originator, one source, the cause of this all. All my behaviors were but reactions of this abuse. And I'm going to prove it one day, one way or another, but now I guess I need help. I need a lawyer. I need somebody that's going to be taken fucking seriously, because I'm sick of it. So this is the explosion. I wanted, I guess, everybody to see that when I fucking know this shit's coming my way, I know it's coming my way. And it's here. It's a big eruption of shit. And I swim through it every day. In the cesspool, the toilet. Somebody's flushing it. Somebody pressed the button. It's flushing. And now we're all being sucked down in the cesspool, swimming amongst all the other feces that we're surrounded by. Trying not to drown, treading water to try to climb out of the toilet bowl of filth. That's my life. Fucking circus sideshow run by clowns. That's the theme song to my life. And I look around at all these blind, deaf morons screaming in a crowded room, and they're oblivious, blind, dumb, deaf, closed minds. Small-minded town of small-minded idiots where everyone knows each other or is related or grew up together, or just out of loyalty, whether right or wrong, they back the abuser or the perpetrator or the oppressor. You know, it's sickening. Really sickening. So, in my opinion, when he kidnapped my kids in 2012 and brought them to Pennsylvania out of our home state in Florida, it should just be a fact that now the case must be moved back to Florida. End of story, and nobody can go against it. That would be my dream come true. Starting there. Get out of this fucking godless, God-forsaken place that I've existed almost 7 years now, barely. Fucking flames of purgatory, a.k.a. Pennsyltucky, a.k.a. Podunkville, a.k.a. Union Yankeeville. It's not good to be an outcast around here. Trust that, especially from the South. Nah, not a good thing. So, whatever, there's vent number 1. Fucking shitstorm.